Well, my dad, we had an old 27 Chevy that quit running. The engine gave out on it, and it was parked in our backyard. And it sat there so long, it started sinking in the ground until it got up to the hubcaps.
Oh, that's a heavy car.
Well, that old 27 Chevy, it was a four-door.
Okay.
But anyway, Dad got himself a real updated one. He got a 29.
Oh.
Well, we were sitting there at our evening meal one night, and I said, Dad, if I can get that old car running out there, can I have it? At that time, I was 11 years old.
Just 11?
Yeah. And he laughed. He said, if you can get that thing running and out of the mud out there, he said, you're welcome to it.
And so what happened?
Oh, I went out every day after school, and I tore another piece off of that car that looked like it needed replacing. And I'd walk anywhere from 2 to 5 miles to a junkyard that had old auto parts. And I was in, all the junk men in town were my buddies. They'd give me a part, and I'd go back, and I'd completely rebuilt that engine. But there the thing was, still sitting out there in the yard, sunk in the grass, up to the hubcaps.
Oh my.
And I got the car started and it ran, but it was good, but there's no way I was going to get it out of them 4 holes. Well, so I got a shovel and I dug a slanting slot.
Like a trench?
Through all 4 wheels.
Wow.
And I got in that car, started it up, put it in reverse, and it backed right out.
Now that car, now tell the story about your dad and you and about the cars.
Well, he came home from work, and here was that old 27 Chevy sitting out front. And he said, whose car's that? And I said, that's mine. He said, I said, go look out the back door. And all he saw was them 4 holes and the ditch in the ground.
And you're 11 years old.
Uh-huh. Well, see, now I had the advantage over a lot of people. I had a brother-in-law and 2 brothers, which were mechanics.
I see.
And I never asked them to help me. I would go and I'd just say this, that, and the other thing, and then they say, well, you'll never get that thing running again, but you might try this.
Oh.
So when they said you might try this, I tried it.
So you'd sit there also and watch them many a day, didn't you?
Oh, no, they wouldn't let me hang around the garage.
Oh. So now what happened with your dad in that car, the 20?
Well, anyway, my dad had that newer car, and I told him, I gave him his, I said, go out and drive it around the block.
You're talking about the car you just fixed up?
Yeah, that old 27, and it was buried in the yard for years. And he went out and he drove it around, and he came back in. You know what the first thing he wanted to do?
What's that?
Trade me cars.
Did you wind up trading cars with them?
I told him, I said, well, I said, do you really like that piece of junk I fixed up? He said, it's sure better than the one I'm driving.
Isn't that funny?
And I said, okay, Dad, I'll trade cars with you. Back in those days, you didn't have to have driver's license or anything.
You just could drive. When you're old enough to drive, you drove.
Yeah. And, but he was so tickled that here he trades a 2-year newer car and down there, and he was happier with it. And, oh, I did a job on that thing.
You really did fix it up nice.
Oh, I made that thing run like a song.
So I think the first time you ever taught to drive was with the farmer, wasn't it?
Oh, no, actually, I really learned to drive by watching my older brothers and my dad.
11 years old.
And after I got that car running and the ditches dug, I had never driven a car.